has been paid for by the New World Order.
Hey everybody, Big Dog here. If you could be so kind as to give me a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're liking the content. Also, if you're looking to interact with me a little more, there's a link in the description box below of every video that I do. It's a link to all my social media accounts, Twitter, Twitch, my Discord server, TikTok, all that good stuff, if you want to interact with me a little more. And I'd greatly appreciate it if you did. Now, what do you say we get on with the show, huh? So, to the surprise of absolutely nobody, it seems like we're experiencing a lot more infighting in the Red Pill community. Let me explain. So yeah, you heard that right. Pretty much it looks like the Red Pill is eating itself alive. Now, you're probably wondering to yourself, Big Dog, what the hell are you talking about now? What do you mean there's infighting in the Red Pill? Well, apparently, Myron Gaines has gone on record to say some not so good things about the late Kevin Samuels. Now, for those of you who don't know who Kevin Samuels is, he was a Red Pill content creator who, unfortunately, he passed away a couple years ago. I would say in 2022 he passed away. I gotta look into that, but I'm pretty sure it was 2022 when he passed. Now, since his passing, unfortunately, the Red Pill movement that he was a part of has seemingly been on a steady decline. Granted, ever since the whole Fresh and Fit controversy and their demonetization, it's really been spiraling out of control downhill. Now, Myron's comments caught the ire of one Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews, or MTR for short. We're going to react to that right about now. All right, let's react to this bad boy.
Regards to Kevin, let's watch.
One thing, right, and I really dislike to even say this, but the truth is the truth, and I kind of had to say it. The reason why the Black Manosphere died, right, is simply because Kevin Samuels didn't put his people on.
The reason
you know what, let me let MTR make his point first.
that an entire community of content creators or things that they talk about died is because the man that was seen as the head of it didn't put his people on. Let's listen a little bit more.
I'm gonna be honest about it.
Okay.
He became famous, he blew up, he didn't, extend the ladder back and put his guys on, and it died. That's just what happened.
Sure.
Once he got into, into the mainstream, he didn't bring anybody up with him. And that's the cold hard truth. I hate to say that shit, but it's
wild.
the truth. And
I agree, this is wild, and it's also a lie. But we're going to get into that, don't worry.
For us, we adopted a little bit of different mindset where we're gonna blow up and we're gonna bring everybody up that came alongside us. And
I'm gonna let him speak, but understand the context of the conversation. This is not, they were friends and they were collaborators and they were planning on doing good work in the future. They were ops. Kevin did not bang with the Fresh and Fit platform, and Fresh and Fit did not bang with Kevin. Now, to get into the history of why that happened, we don't have time here within the scope of this conversation, within the content, because I want to address his specific points about it all falling and crumbling because Kevin did nothing to bring others.
I'm going to let him talk, but I'm going to say this. There we go. MTR is absolutely right. Kevin Samuels, if you guys don't know this, you probably don't, but if you do know this, you'll probably agree with me. Yeah, Kevin didn't really like Fresh and Fit, and I believe it was Myron in particular he didn't like. And it got to the point, if I remember correctly, where Kevin actually fell out with another content creator because of Myron and Fresh. But
up with
let's
him,
let this
which
go.
Is categorically incorrect.
Actually, hang on. Why is this not at 1080p? Wow, that didn't do much of a difference.
But it's not coming from a perspective of friendship. They were ops. They were not cool. And in fact, Kevin was creating studios down in Miami to directly compete with Fresh and Fit.
What did he say?
Now that I didn't know. That I did not know. And if that's true, that's wildly petty. And I can see why Myron didn't like that.
Let's hear a little bit more of his thoughts, and then let's get back active.
I've seen, everyone go off on their own and, build really successful independent channels. Everyone here is well over 100,000, where, before that was unheard of in the manosphere.
Now what's it?
Also, I'm going to make this point. In my opinion, that wasn't really Kevin's responsibility to do. Sure, he was friends with these people, but if they were entertaining in their own right, they would have been just fine. And I think Myron having this kind of victim mentality, saying, oh, he didn't help us. First of all, like MTR said, he didn't like you guys. And second of all, again, he didn't owe you anything. And you guys were doing, you guys blew up because of him, but if you were as hardworking as you claim to be, it wouldn't have been a problem for you. But if you guys disagree, let me know.
The interesting is that
That's my
he
opinion.
talks ill of Kevin of not bringing other content creators forward, but you just said that there's other content creators that are tied to you that have independently built up their own platforms. Now, would you be pulling people on
He
your
did say
platform,
that.
Myron, if they haven't individually built up a community of people beforehand? Would you or would you not?
And the answer to that is he wouldn't. Let's be real.
Nah, let's keep going.
Right? So I think from this point forward, right, sticking together and doing periodic podcasts like this, where guys are able to comment on culture, current events, etc., because things are changing rapidly. Every year, something new is going on, right? 2020, it was the TikTok boom. 2021, it was a pandemic and dealing with that. 2022, oh shit, Trump is going to run again. Like, every year there's like a new thing going on. And the thing is with the red pill, it's not just women, it's the truth in general, right? You can apply it to so many different endeavors. So
maybe I'll do another video about that.
that's what I noticed was, the one thing on the Kevin Samuels legacy that I wish he did was put on his people, and he simply didn't.
It's absolutely wild to me that no one is up here challenging the things that he's saying in order to give perhaps a different perspective. But
That's what I'm saying too. I'm glad MTR made this point. I'm surprised nobody's come up to defend Kevin, because I'm gonna be honest, I don't like that Myron's doing this. And Donovan Sharp did the same thing not too long ago, where they said a lot of things that disparaged Kevin Samuels. And it was especially weird with Donovan doing it, because it's like, bro, you two used to be friends. Look, I understand if you had a falling out, but it just seems scummy to me. Like, again, the man's dead. He can't defend himself. Why are you doing this?
I think that there's incentives not to. And this is actually part of the reason of why I try to keep to myself as much as possible and just create, because I actually agree with
That's
Myron
fair.
there when he's talking about that there's a lot of things changing. We need community, we need a team, absolutely. But I do think as a content creator that there's inherent bias for you to not speak up or against someone that you collaborate with if you vehemently disagree with the bullshit, or at least not publicly address it. But now your image gets caught up in the things that they are saying, just like the images for everyone up here is being caught up for not calling out or chastising the things that he is saying. Nevertheless, let's address the elephant in the room, being that Kevin did nothing to bring back up others up on his platform is categorically untrue. I won't even speak about all the content creators, at least right now, that he spoke about, but let's just take me for an example. Kevin shouted me out on his platform an uncountable amount of times, and in fact, you're gonna see comments right below this video of people saying that they found my channel out after watching KS, and I never...
Also, didn't Kevin Samuels also mention MTR when MTR was going through that whole thing with his cancer diagnosis? Because I know he was one of a myriad of content creators that mentioned that. Because for those of you who don't know the backstory, MTR, who is this gentleman here, he was diagnosed with testicular cancer, I believe. Thankfully, he had surgery, had it removed, and he's healthy, which good for him. Nobody should ever have to live with something like that. But if I remember correctly, and again, if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. I'm pretty sure Kevin did mention something about that.
Never asked for a shout out. I never paid for him to mention me or anything odd like
And they
that.
collab
It all
together
just came
too, I
from
believe.
him understanding my brand, what it was that I was trying to offer from a entertainment or education perspective, and he decided to call me out. Also, let me bring this up as well. He actually had a whole stream where the name of my channel was the topic. Let me bring it up. For all of those that may forgot, this is actually still active on his channel, but he called the stream mediocre at best. Sound familiar? And while obviously this is a play off of his average at best viral video, he utilized first name on my channel and was quoted multiple times within this saying that modern women today might need some mediocre tutorials and reviews. And I even said it down up in here. You'll see this comment from
look at that.
years ago. Fantastic stream, and I appreciate the references. Shout out to the Godfather. And what you guys don't know about this is that Kevin actually reached out to me via DMs. It was one of the first times that he ever reached out to me. And he said, hey, I want to use your title name within a stream tonight. You cool with that? And at the time, I was like, hell yeah, if you want to utilize my ish. I throw it up on stream right now, but I think it'd be tacky for me to show DMs between Kevin and I during that time. But
That's understandable.
he didn't have to do this. He didn't have to leave my comment out for people to go up, click on my profile and see what I am about. Shit, he also shouted me out when I had cancer, and he ensured that when he
I knew it. I knew he did. I'm glad I mentioned that because I knew Kevin was one of the people that did, because I know a bunch of content creators did.
wanted to reach
So
back to
I'm
work
glad he
with others
verified
to
that.
continue on pushing the brand forward, to get it in front of people's eyes that would not normally look at this content. He did. I have content with Kevin that's on the channel. Shit, he planned an entire trip where we went to Brooklyn to go visit the Zuniga brothers in order to look at their
All right, I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit because I don't want this video to go on too long.
It has to be surgical. Kevin understood that. He's stream and
I see.
act for ad sponsors. To introduce something as robust as what Kevin was attempting to introduce, you have to be surgical. You can't go in like an atom bomb in the mainstream and act like that's going to be the way to really impact change.
He has a valid point here. Yeah, he's absolutely right. If you're going to do something like that, you need to be strategic. I wouldn't say surgical, I would say strategic. And unfortunately, this is something that Myron and Fresh really failed at, evident by their demonetization. Like, they went at this a whole different way, and we all know what that meant. What I mean by that, I'm not going to get into details.
No, it has to be surgical. Kevin understood that.
He simply did it. It's just the truth, and it sucks. Maybe he didn't have enough time. Maybe that was the plan before he passed away. I know that he had something going on, but what I will say is when he did those Nicki Minaj collabs, when he did those big events, there was no shout out to anybody from the sphere.
It's a categorical lie. Kevin actually shouted me out on Vlad TV after I did the Shahrazad Ali interview. He shouted me out. And I remember him DMing me that he shouted me out after he did the Vlad interview. I think the interview came out several weeks later. But this is just not true. And I'm sure there's other content creators that will have their own examples. Shit, there's other content creator, I believe his name, Obsidian, who became a millionaire after Kevin shouted out his books. So this is just categorically false. And for anyone who just eats this information up, you should know the truth. So again, it's so wrong, it's ridiculous, and at this point, I don't even know why he keeps on bringing up Kevin's name. Let the man rap.
I do, and this is where I'm gonna end it. I know why he's doing it. It's because he wants attention, whether it's good or bad. Because let's be real here, their platform is basically dying. It's basically dying. Let's be real. I wouldn't say nobody's watching the Red Pill, but it's getting to the point where the Red Pill is pretty much on its deathbed. And quite frankly, I would say the reason it is because of Fresh and Fit. Because of the bullshit that they went through, because of the beef that they had with Abba and Preach, especially the racist remarks that they made. Like, let's be real, that did them in, and it damn near ruined them. And it's their own fault. So, yep, there you have it. Myron is running his mouth again, jeopardizing his his channel, and his podcast future. And of course, we see that MTR didn't really take too kindly to that. And quite frankly, I don't blame him. Like, come on. The man is dead. Just let him rest. Stop bringing up the past already. I understand if Myron felt the type of way, but at the same time, it's like MTR said, you weren't his favorite person. And for those of you who don't remember, Myron, you went behind his back and talked shit about him, calling him the F slur. I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't work with somebody like that who would casually use a word like that. But then again, that's just me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and I'll see you next time. Later.